Who is laying up with this big land mammal anyway? Oh my God. The boyfriend is just as big and nasty looking. Why couldn't she just give them to their dads or someone, anyone else, but to stay in her custody? This is pitiful as hell. To carry children, then bring them into this world, then to neglect them is absolutely sickening. She's right. Well, about almost everything. Let's get into it. Now, this case is not going to be for everybody. Be warned. I was actually asked to cover this case by multiple of my Twisted Babies who are people in my community who like how I tackle these type of topics, but it's not for everybody. Unlike the Kelly Bryant case, which I covered a couple days ago, this one resulted in a little girl no longer being here. So you have to be prepared for that. I still feel like it's very important because it leads to what I have always been saying over and over and over again, that there is a crisis in our communities, and I believe I know one of the reasons why. So let's get into it. Chantel Gardner has two children. She has a little boy and a little girl. They're both toddlers. Now, on January 25th, 2025, around 6:30 p.m., Indianapolis Police Department officers responded to a distress call from Chantel. She called them saying, "Look, I need help. Please come now." When they get there, she reported finding her daughter, Skylar, unresponsive and cold to the touch under a lightweight dresser in their apartment located on 6300 block of Newbury Road. So she came home and found this, okay? Came home. And I'm going to let y'all know now, again, this is going to be a case that if you are not, then it's going to get to you. However, if you are a member of the true crime community, this is pretty much on par with what has been happening. Okay, so the paramedics arrived and pronounced Skylar dead at the scene, noting that rigor mortis had already set in. So she had passed away when they got there, okay? And this is this beautiful little baby girl. This is the picture that has been circulating and has been yoking everybody's hearts. We ain't done, y'all. The apartment was found in deplorable conditions, described by investigators as a biohazard. That means there's so much feces and human waste and trash and rotten food and all of this stuff that it is a biohazard, like meaning that folks have to go in or should go in with a hazmat suit on. The floors were covered with trash, human feces, and soil items, making them barely visible. Now, I want to pause right here because with the Kelly Bryant case, I was asked to do this because people see similarities. There's a big thing about the feces. People seem to be shocked that children are just putting feces on the wall. Now, I'm a writer, so I'm automatically thinking that one of the reasons is they want to get it off their bodies. I'm sure it's uncomfortable, and in their little hearts, they know it's not right. So you putting it on the wall. If I'm a kid, that's what I'm thinking about. You know, why they possibly all seem to be doing it. In other words, in the Kelly Bryant case, the same situation, feces was on the wall, done by, in that case, it was 3 of her children, and they were much older than these 2 toddlers, okay? So they came in deplorable conditions. Feces were smeared on the walls and the furniture, and there was a pervasive odor of rotting food, okay? Rotting food was everywhere. That's why I call this a horror story. When the authorities came, they said the temperature inside the home ranged between 46 to 51 degrees, while it was about 32 degrees outside. I think this was actually, should be twisted. It was colder. It was reported as being colder inside the house than it was outside. That meant it would have likely been colder during the time when the children were left alone. This reported that the furnace was not working, and I believe I have that in this, but we're going to go forward. These are the beautiful kids. Now, post Miranda, when after she's read her Miranda rights, Gardner says she knew she neglected her daughter, and she actually neglected both of them. Both of the children was in the house. She claimed it would be typical. Now, listen to this, y'all. She actually gave more information than I was shocked that she gave. She claimed it would be typical for her to leave her 2 kids alone for hours on end, only coming to their aid once a day to feed them. Gardner said she hadn't bathed one of her kids for nearly 2 weeks and would often find them with feces on their hands and feet. So she was leaving her children in, and I'm going to tell you where she'd been. If you follow this case and you're one of the people who keep playing T, I need you to cover this for me. You know where she was. But when she came in, of course, they're babies. They don't really know what they're doing, and feces is everywhere. Okay, this is her. Law and Crime reportedly explained that she stopped taking the kids to the doctor's appointments and then bringing them in public altogether because they smell so bad that she knew her neglect would be easily discoverable. So she's having these children alone by themselves in this house, in her apartment. I'm not sure where she is right now. It looks very clean to me, honey. It's probably where she's been, which we're going to get into. And so she was so ashamed of these babies that she just was like, I'm not doing anything with them. Okay, so let's get into the next slide. She reportedly explained that she stopped taking them kids because of bringing them out in public altogether because they smell so bad that she knew that her neglect would be discoverable. So this woman didn't even want the kids to come out because she knew people would be like, what is going on with these kids? Now, here's the other thing. Gardner allegedly told police that she knew that the furnace to heat the home was broken, but says she did not call anyone to fix it because due to the cleanliness of the residence and because they would have known the children were alone and unattended. So I'm leaving these kids in the house, okay? And I don't need you coming in here fixing anything, because if you fix anything, you're going to find out that I possibly left the kids in there. Now, instead of taking the kids out and then putting them somewhere for a minute to fix the furnace, she chose against that and then left them in. The children were alone, and unattended, police wrote, according to Indianapolis Fox affiliate WXIN. Like I already said, the authorities said about the furniture and how cold it was. Okay, this is another thing she said. This woman was talking, y'all. For somebody who knew she was dead wrong, she was talking. And one of the reasons why I believe she was talking so much, I honestly believe she wanted to get this off her chest. I honestly believe she was like, this is a bit too much, even for me. And I'm going to play you guys a phone call too, that pretty much kind of makes me believe that. But she said that she tried cleaning the walls and maintaining things, but it became too overwhelming. The affidavit reportedly states she eventually strayed away from the home altogether due to the smell inside the house. Police reportedly said the home was in such a bad condition, like I said before, that it was a biohazard. So she came in there with her little mop bucket and stuff and said, it ain't working. Now, this is when it starts. You're going to really start getting pissed. If you already know, you know. Brian Thomas, her boyfriend, corroborated her account, stating that Gardner spent most nights at his apartment. So she leaving these two babies in the house by themselves, and rarely brought the children along. He claimed to be unaware of the children's living conditions, believing they were with Gardner's family during her stays with him. Thomas was charged with 2 counts of assisting a criminal for allegedly providing false information to hinder the investigation. So I don't know what he lied about at first. There are some people that believe that he should have gotten it too. And I'm going to tell you, I still stand by this woman being a narcissist. Let's really look quickly on what is a narcissist. Oh my God, y'all get a new word called narcissist and y'all running around town with it. I am not her. She is not me. I have studied this kind of activity for over 20 years. This is what I do for my books. I extensively and create and make monsters for a living. So when I'm telling you, I know what a narcissist look like, and that we have a growing crises of narcissistic mothers that we got to get a hold of, understand that I'm telling you, we need to beware. What is narcissism? Narcissism is a personality trait characterized by an excessive need for admiration, a sense of entitlement, and a lack of empathy for others. I need you to think I'm cute. I need you to think I'm like that. You know, I need you to be on social media and rapping and having a BBL and boobs, and I need you to see me. Not saying that people that get those things are that way, but if you're leaving your babies at home, if you're leaving them to fend for themselves, you sound like one. Narcissistic individuals often prioritize their own desires and self-image above others, leading to manipulative and controlling and emotionally exploitive behavior. Okay, when we look at the Kelly Bryant case, I said it looks like, all of this is alleged because more information is coming out, But the children had the fear of God in them, so of course they would not leave. People keep on saying, why the babies ain't leave? Y'all gotta stop thinking that people are like y'all. You know, I come from not only studying this, but also someone who had severe depression and had a lot of things going on that I had to crawl my way out of. If you don't know, you don't know. You know, you don't. There's some people that don't leave Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? Some people that never saw sand. I'm a filmmaker and a director, and I recall taking some of my actors from the Washington D.C. to a beach, and they had never been before. So broaden your horizons and start thinking outside of your bedroom. And you might feel what it is I'm saying. I know most of you do, because the anger is in the right place. You can be mad, but understand what we're being mad about. Okay, they may use charm, charisma, or even victimhood to maintain control and validate their self-worth. I'm the victim. People don't understand that you could be a narcissist and then play woe is me. Those are the worst ones. It could be your mothers, your sisters, your aunties, and all them kind of people that will do whatever they can to get you to do what it is they want you to do. Okay, in relationships, this can create toxic dynamics where others are used to meet their emotional needs without genuine concern for their well-being. Quite frankly, cover the baby's ears. These people don't give a fuck. First, this is for entertainment purposes only. If you look any further into that, it's on you. If I am going to make a monster like Chantel, a female rapper who is trying to get a hold of the business, I'm going to need several things to happen. First, I would have to write her with unresolved childhood trauma. Mothers who experience childhood neglect or abuse during their childhoods may struggle to provide adequate care for their children. Okay, their unmet emotional needs can lead to difficulties in forming attachments and recognizing their children's needs. This cycle perpetuates itself across generations. In other words, she has a baby that's still here, a son. If we do not start capturing what's happening with this rise of narcissistic mothers and parents, we're going to create and breed more monsters. We got to stop breeding monsters. Also, I need to write her this way. She has to have emotional dependence and low self-worth. A woman that's going to leave her child in the house to be up under her dude has to have low self-worth. It's impossible not to. Some women may seek validation and sense of worth through romantic relationships. You see me, I see you through me. I need you here to tell me that I'm worthy. This dependency, which is like a drug, a tap, narcissists need to be feeling something always. This dependency can cause them to prioritize their partner's approval over their children's well-being. This is why it's a psychotic, and it's the worst to me out of all mental illnesses. And it is. NPD is a mental illness. Okay, it's a mental illness, which is harder to treat because the person would have to admit that they want change. And y'all want to probably be mad with me. I'm not sure that she don't feel that way. I'm gonna try. I don't want this video to be too long, but I got a voicemail when she was talking to her boyfriend, and I'm gonna try to put that in if this video is not too long. If not, I'll get it at another time. But she sounds like she knows. I mean, the woman said everything. The cops came in and she told everything. That very rarely happens like that with full-blown narcissists. So it may not be over for her, but she's going to have to do her time, because we cannot have you killing or unaliving babies. Okay. Also, if I'm going to write her this monster, I would need her to have parental burnout. Chronic stress and exhaustion from parent responsibilities can lead to emotional withdrawal and detachment. Anybody that has two toddlers know what I'm saying is right. This is why you got to have a strong family dynamic around you. You got to build community. If you're out there alone and you're a mother or a single father, and they like, give me some too. If you're out there alone, join parent groups, parent clubs, anybody that you can say, look, I'm trying to go ahead. I'm a rapper. I'm about to go here. You mind if you get mine? I'll get yours later. When you need a babysitter. Without adequate support, mothers may become overwhelmed and resulting in neglectful behaviors as a coping mechanism. I can't deal. This is too much for me. Narcissistic tendencies. If I'm going to write her, you know how I feel. It would shift the focus from blame to proactive measures such as advocating for better access to therapy, parenting classes, and communicating a community support to assist struggling mothers. So for narcissists, they need to have people there watching and looking what it is they're doing. The reason why they need this is because if somebody needs to jump in and be supportive, they can do that in time. Also, the house, the nasty house, always is a part of the package with this type of person that's abandoning children. Because in a lot of cases, they are already kind of, in my opinion, this is in my opinion, informational, educational purposes only, they already have a little dirty things with them. Okay, so they used to probably not being the best as far as cleaning up. Not saying she is, I'm just saying people who leave their kids in squalor already have this dirty, not being the best cleaners. So this gets out of hand because your mind is cluttered. You got too much going on, and it comes out to your house. You hear it all the time. I got to clean this house. I can't think. So if I'm writing her, if I'm making this monster, this is what I would do. Okay. People are not trying to get folks out. Y'all keep talking about, they're making excuses. Ain't nobody making excuses. Nobody is born in this country to automatically be evil, except something is off in the DNA. But even then, anytime you have a situation where a person has a propensity for violence, love, somebody coming in and stepping in and seeing you and helping you, always cures. Let me try to slide that voicemail in if it's not too long. In this recorded message from her boyfriend, he records her, and you can hear her speaking about her mental process when she decided to do what she did.
Together, or I didn't want you to feel like I was rushing shit, but in a way I was like rushing shit, you feel me, so I could get them in a better environment, because I knew that environment wasn't safe or clean for them.
But anyway, even when I did see the babies, for a fact, even if that was the case, when you was spending the night over here, you could have brought them. You could have brought them, nigga. If anything, if push came to shove, I would have paid for daycare.
You already had a lot on your plate.
It don't matter, though. Them babies come before the bullshit I got going on. I would rather have paid to put them in daycare than figure it out like this. You said what?
I said I didn't want to be a burden.
But still, though, sweetheart, you gotta